Hello everybody. Welcome to Tpull's Corner. We're doing another prototype deck, which I hadn't planned on, but the more I thought about the cards that we had available to us in all of the current expansions, the more I realized there's other ways that you can shortcut out the prototype cards to their full value, or get them back. Okay, we will make that black mana. And we will use Pat the Peril and get rid of 2 creatures now. My opponent is impressed. I bet he has another one. With haste. And we're going to wait. Let's see what else he's got. Oh, we're playing poker with all the haste creatures, huh? Alright, let's do it again. Now he starts to burn. And he's got 1 and 2 mana cards, so he's very quick, very fast deck. Doesn't have to worry about creatures yet, so he gets rid of his creature removal. And what are you getting rid of? Okay. Let's see what we've got. What's in your hand? Not a creature, okay. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. What card do I want? Sure. It doesn't kill me. It's a source of lifelink. And if he destroys it, I get it back the next turn. So I'm kind of hoping he's not paying attention and takes out the Savior, or takes out the Phyrexian Fleshgorger now. No, he goes for the Savior. Alright. That's the one I get back then, right? Oh, I can get back one of these. Let's get back one of these then. If he's got a haste attacker, I can deal 4 damage. And he did everything that he could. And it didn't work for him. So now he's got to live with the fact that I'm getting 3 life back per turn. And that can't stop my menace attacker. Get the planes. Go ahead and attack. And he did pretty good for a while. with his maximum 3 mana costing deck. Yeah, not hanging around anymore. He knew it was up. Alright. Well, he had a very cheap deck, planning on knocking me out fast, and it did not work. For a change. Restoring Prototypes is our deck here at Tpull's Corner today. The last one we did was returning the prototype. And let me just go through real quick. Let's see how we got down this path. We started with Sataro and just me looking at the ninjutsu feature. And instead of paying 6, 7, 8 mana on these, paying the full value for these prototype artifact creatures, you could give any creature ninjutsu and then just bring them down for 4 mana. So you could bring them down for full value for only 4 mana instead of 6, 7, 8 mana. So that was a pretty cool deck. We had a lot of fun with that one. And then we did some stuff that was basically some cheap blue instants. Let me just pull up the blue or black only. Black instants. Hey, I don't want land. Okay, so we used Undying Malice, a lot of copies of that. We used Return to Action, and we used, where's the other one? There we go, Fake Your Own Death. So that when they died, they came back to the battlefield immediately, and it turns out when you take a, like, where is he? Goring Warplow. You take like a 1/1 Death Toucher, and you bring him back to the battlefield tapped, he comes back as a 5/4, because of the way the rules are. So, for example, kicker cards, you start off with a smaller amount of value to pay with, and you pay the higher cost, add on the kicker cost, to get full value out of the card. The thing with these prototype cards is it's the opposite. The full value is the 6 mana for the Warplow. You can get it out for cheaper and just get a smaller toughness and power for a cheaper cost. So what we're doing is basically taking advantage of all the cards that are in the current standard with all the current expansions and trying to shortcut them so that we can just pay the prototype cost early on. And there's a way either through blinking them or through exiling them, through resurrecting them, reanimating them, whatever we do, that there's a way that we can get them back onto the battlefield. And because the rules text looks at the upper right mana value and the bottom right power and toughness, that's what they're going to come back as, regardless of when we put them in as a prototype, a cheaper prototype. So these are all ways to sort of trick them out, either just to get them back at full value or maybe get them down for full value when we didn't pay the full value in the first place. And so we did those 2 decks. And after returning the prototype, I started thinking about the white cards, and I realized there are still a lot of cards that we can use that will interact with the prototype cards, or the prototype mechanic, including Portal to Phyrexia. I've got 1 copy of it. When it enters, each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures, but at the beginning of your upkeep, you put a target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So my problem is I only have 1 Phyrexian Fleshgorger, and I do have 4 Goring Warplows. That was the common one. But ideally, I should really have 4 of these. But I'm making do with what I have. And the thing is, I can bring this, if I put these out for cheap, they only cost 2 and 3 mana, but they're going to come back, if I bring them back with Portal to Phyrexia later, they're going to come back full value. So I can choose one of them each turn. And that's awesome. Let's see. Let's start back over here with the 1-drops. We got 2 Clay Revenants. I don't care if they die, because I can bring them back from my graveyard to my hand for only 3 mana. I've got 1 Destroy Evil, looking to destroy target enchantments. If they have some stuff that they can get out of their graveyard, we're going to exile it with the Lion Sash, or the Ashnod's Harvester. We do have to be careful with Ashnod's Harvester, because if their graveyard is empty, it will automatically exile something from our graveyard, and we may not want that, because we're kind of a graveyard recursion deck. We have 2 Blades of the Oni, artifact creatures, equipment demons. We like to reconfigure them onto the Clay Revenants whenever we can, and that way if they kill the Clay Revenant, these automatically revert back to being creatures. We're heavy artifact creature, you notice, because we have Mech Titan Core, And this is the first card which actually interfaces with the prototype cards. So you can exile Mech Titan Core and 4 other artifact creatures and or vehicles and create this legendary construct you see to your right that's 10/10, right? So artifact creatures like Goring Warplow, which maybe we got down for just 2 mana. If we lose this construct later, Mech Titan Core is exiled, but the other 4 cards come back. So if we pay 2 for the Warplow, we lose the construct, it's going to come back onto the battlefield as a 5/4. So that's one way that you can get full value early on if you didn't pay the full 6 mana to get Goring Warplow out as a 5/4. Next we have Knockout Blow. This is for the fast red decks. It only costs 1 white, basically deal 4 damage. That's a good deal. And we get 2 life. Restoration of Ganjo. This is to get planes out if we need planes. Gives us a 3/4 vigilance at the end that also creates a 1/1 spirit creature token. So it's a chance to, if we're dealing with a whole bunch of 1/1s, maybe we can get this guy out and it'll help even up the score over time. The next card that works with the prototypes, Touch the Spirit Realm. You can use it as an enchantment and just exile a target artifact or creature. We're looking at the channel ability. If you discard it, you exile a target artifact or creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So we are looking at blinking, right? And if we blink these guys, we may have paid 2 mana to put it out as a 1/1. When it comes back, it's going to look at that upper 6 full value cost, and it's going to put it out as a 5/4 creature. So if we can blink those prototypes, we'll be good to go. That's the second card. Third card that interacts with prototypes, Savior of Ollenbach. Because you don't have to exile the opponent's creatures. That's usually what we try to do. But you can exile our own. So if you've got a cheap prototype cost card out, you could exile it with Savior when you train up Savior. And then when they kill Savior, it doesn't come back as a 1/1. It comes back as a 5/4. And also, say that these guys already died, you could exile them from the graveyard. And when they kill Savior, these guys come back as a 5/4. Now, they could just catch on to what we're doing and not block them, and then they're taking 2-3 points of damage every turn. But in that case, we do have 3 copies of Path to Peril. If we can pay the cleave cost later, we can destroy everybody. And so whatever we put under Savior of Ollenbach will come back. Fossil Hero's Downfall, that's kind of geared towards taking out a Planeswalker. Depopulate, another way to clear the board. We've got a lot of board wipes in here, and we actually have 68 cards. So only 19 creatures, but we got ways to resurrect them, right? Average mana cost is 3.8. Since I do have 68 cards, I got 26 lands. We're going to see if that gives me any trouble or not. But the issue is we've got so many cards that deal with bringing back things from the graveyard that it may be a stretch, since we have so few creatures, between getting enough defense. So I had to put in a bunch of board wipes. So we've got 3 copies of Path to Peril. We've got Depopulate. And then we also have Vanquish the Horde, which will be cheaper depending on how much creatures they have out. And so that's 5 board wipes. Hopefully that's enough. But those are basically the 5 of the 6 extra cards and then the 2 lands that we had to put in. Okay, we've got 2 Serra Paragons, flyers. During each of your turns, you can play a land from your graveyard or cast a permanent spell with mana value 3 or less. So if we discard by channeling the Touch the Spirit Realms, we could still cast them back later with the Serra Paragon. Or if we did a board wipe to get rid of Savior of Ollenbach to get out, our full value prototypes, we could bring back a Savior. Or if we needed to, we could still pay the prototype cost and get back any of our prototype cards if we felt like it was worth our while. Next, we have Sheoldred's Restoration. We don't have a lot of ways to gain life in this deck, so we really don't want to pay the 4 cost on this. We want to pay the kicker, because if not, you lose life equal to the mana value. We're looking at losing, again, all of these, we're looking at casting our prototype creatures for the cheap cost, cheap toughness and power, and then paying the full cost of Sheoldred's Restoration with the kicker. That would cost us 7, but then we get back something like the Phyrexian Fleshgorger is a 7/5, and we gain, 7 life, because that's the mana value that they look at. Okay, next we have Platoon Dispenser, artifact creature, 4 toughness, or 4 power, 6 toughness. Beginning of the end step, if you control 2 or more creatures, you draw a card. And if you don't have enough creatures, you can create them by paying 4 more mana to get an extra token soldier. And this also works with the Mech Titan core, because if we don't have enough artifact creatures to create the Mech Titan construct, if we just pay 4 mana the next turn, we'll get, another creature, and maybe we'll have enough by then. So that's kind of cool. We'll come back to Mysterious Limousine last. Cruelty of Gix, looking at Chapter 2, because I might need something very specific. If there's a troublesome enchantment, all I have is Destroy Evil. If there's a Planeswalker, all I have is Hero's Downfall. I don't have, unless I want to increase my card count, I can't just stuff extra of these removal cards in the deck. So I have 1 Cruelty of Gix, so if I have one specific thing that I really need to get rid of, I can go search it out with Chapter 2 and find it. Next, Chapter 3, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield. Again, we could use that to get these guys back, and they come back as full value. We have 1 Mightstone and Weakstone to either draw 2 cards or to give a target creature -5/-5. And it does give us 2 to cast artifact spells, and since we have, we've got like 7 high-costing cards here. Well, Vanquish the Horde doesn't count, does it? So 6. I thought that was worth putting in, even though I don't have Urza yet. We have the 4 of the Goring Warplows, only 1 Phyrexian Fleshgorger, and then the Portal 2 Phyrexia. Okay, back to Mysterious Limousine. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile to 1 other target creature. We can exile our cards that we cast for cheap as the prototype cards. When it attacks again, we can exile a different card. And then whatever card we first exiled, it comes back. Well, we're blinking again, so that means the 1/1's going to come back as a 5/4, and maybe we just blinked out another 1/1. So we could cycle through all of our prototypes with Mysterious Limousine alone. And that's kind of cool. So that's the deck. Those are the ideas. Out of all the cards that we have here, after we already did the Ninjutsu trick, and we did the Return to Battlefield trick, and we did the Golden Argosy trick, we still have Mech Titan Core. We still have Touch the Spirit Realm channel ability. We got Savior of Ollenbach. We have Shielded Restoration. We got Mysterious Limousine. We got Cruelty of Grix to bring them out of the graveyard. And we have Portal to Phyrexia. That is 7 more cards that can sort of give us a shortcut to the prototype cards. So that's pretty cool. All right. Let's go ahead and play match. And before I forget, remember to like and subscribe, especially if you're new. And there are still other cards that you could use to get things from your graveyard to your hand, or possibly from the graveyard to the battlefield. So we haven't exhausted absolutely everything 100%. I don't have a 1 cost, right? So I can just put that down tapped now and not worry about it later. But we're getting most of them covered right here. Okay, we don't mind putting these down early. We don't mind too much if they die. Can't attack or block just yet. He's probably got 4 of these in his deck. And hopefully he can't put out 3 more lands in 1 turn. Never mind, he can. Let's see, 3, 4, 6. Alright, he's already outpacing us there, isn't he? Do you have the 7th land? Nobody's got 2 creatures. Alright, what do we want to do? I think we want to attack. And we want to get rid of you. Blocks it to protect the damage. Got an insect creature, which we don't like. He's looking at all of them. Titan of Industry. This is where we use our channel. He's going to come back later. Ta-da! And because we fizzled his destroy artifact trick, he doesn't get the rhino either. It fizzles both of them. It's a nice little trick. Alright, now we can bring this puppy back using Sarah Paragon's power and get rid of Titan of Industry. Then we can attack with everybody, and we get to train up 2. And we get to get rid of this one, and we get to get rid of this one. And things are not looking good, sports fans. Not looking good for Wasco here, that is. And we can still train both of our saviors. So 1 creature is not going to be enough. Actually, two creatures would not be enough. Ah, look at that. He's got his own... Was this a mirror match? He's got his own Flesh Gorger. Sounds dirty, but it's not. It's just Magic the Gathering. Alright, we were able to use Touch the Spirit Realm and channel and discard it. Fizzled the Titan play, which normally is a big thing that can shut down a game. We're doing pretty good at demonstrating stuff so far. Just makes up for like the 10 losses I had playtesting the deck before I threw in all the board wipes. I was getting massacred without the board wipes. We're back to normal. The most expensive card shows up in the initial deal. Not good, man. Not good. My turn. Destroy a creature with toughness 4 or greater. That means they get to keep their enchantment. Siege Veteran. Okay. We don't have any prototypes, so I guess it doesn't make sense to hold on to the cards. We've got to be willing to use them. Sun Gold Sentinel now. Uh-oh, this one can exile cards from graveyards. Which we do not like. But she needs the Coven ability to get hexproof. So do we use Pat the Peril or do we use a Ganjo? Let's just wait. Let's not do anything. She's just gonna attack. See if they have protection. 4 damage. Can you do anything about it? No. Either cannot or will not. Alright, let's go ahead and try something. Let's try and get something on the board anyway. Alright, it does not work. Let's get rid of you. Let's get rid of you. Technically, I could have gotten those back with Portal Phyrexia later, but, you know. That's a 3 cost. Calamities. Oh, got rid of all of the graveyards. Here goes my platoon dispenser. Get rid of Cathar. Brings back the Siege Veteran. Say goodbye to the Siege Veteran. We're just exiling each other's graveyards left and right here. I finally get to attack for some damage! Woohoo! Oh. Well, one thing's for sure, we certainly are tidy, aren't we? We're just cleaning out each other's graveyards really nicely. I can full cost these now. Yeah. Is this a mirror match? Because I have 1 copy of Vanquish the Horde. Uh-oh. Enchantments are going to be the death of me. Reconfigure. Attach the Lion Sash. Attack with everybody. Life is good. Double block the Warplow. Perfect. For me. Oh. Exile the graveyard again. He likes that card, doesn't he? He really likes that card. So I can't use Shieldred's Restoration. But he can't block me or anything, so... I'm trying to say good game. So those cards can be potentially devastating to me, right? I think I have 4 of those now. But we were able to get a board presence. And he looks like he was entirely preoccupied with the graveyard. which is not a bad trick once or twice. Big toast. Oh, quick burn deck. We could be in trouble because we didn't get a land. And we won twice, right? So it is already time for the free-to-play players to lose. Quick cards, 1 mana cards, 1 mana cards. No land. Made me use my land drop against a mono red aggro deck. Is there a better way to make sure somebody loses? Still no land. Another 1 mana card. Let's do this. Crew this puppy with this. Pass to blockers, get rid of this one. That's decent. Hey, I finally got 1 land. Isn't that lovely? Mono red aggro's got more than I have. I think this is gonna kill me. Come on, choose the blocker. Alright. No, cancel that. I want Path to Peril. Sorry. He's got haste now, doesn't he? And 6 lands. And 3 more devils. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Hey look, the prototype made an appearance. Alright, we'll try one more. Now that we had the mandatory loss where they made sure that we got mana starved against a quick mono red aggro deck. Like, choose one or the other, Arena. You don't need to do both to me at the exact same time. I mean, once a week might be okay to do that to me, but every day now? Your Magic experience is not complete unless every single day you experience mono red aggro and you somehow only getting 2 or 3 lands for the entire match. It's just part of the experience. Alright, let's see. You come in, let's see what we got. Land is good right now. And we do have a 1-drop. We will definitely block that. And he kills us. Alright. do we have that we can... I guess we can do this. And this. Did our opponent do absolutely nothing? Really? Well, two can play at that game. We're looking to use the channel on the War Plow. Flyers are a problem for us. Didn't attack for any of that. Alright, well if he's going to do that, then we're going to use this, but first we're going to channel the War Plow, and then we're going to depopulate everybody else. Our 1/1 comes back as a 5/4. Might have removal. Yep, not a problem there. We expect those sort of things. Here, we'll bring you back. Put you down. And we can fully cast the Goring Warplow next turn, so I guess we will. I feel like we got a little bit of time. Uh-oh. He got two of them back. Well, let's see. 2, 4, 5, 6. Let's just put this guy out for full cost. Champion comes out again. Falcon comes out again. Kind of like that guy gone. Next. Warplow on the warpath. Has to take it. And we don't mind blocking with our Clay Revenant every time. We also don't mind using Vanquish the Horde whenever it seems like it's more advantageous to us. I was expecting that. Necroduality. Yet another repossession. That's the second one of those. He's got 4 copies in his deck. It makes things irritating. I could use my, let's see. Let's just get rid of the enchantment now. What else do we want to do? Bring him down. Another 5 points he has to take. You should have more of these in the deck too. Is that his third Falcon? No, it's just Urborg's Repossession. What do I have in my graveyard? I have a Warplow in my graveyard. I need one more land. This will give me one more land. Alright, so now we attack with these two. That one trains up. We get to exile you. And the Falcon can't block. Not adequately. It does chump block. And do I put this down? Yeah. Let's put it down. Ooh. He was ready for something. Will we get through this without even needing to use our board wipe? There comes another Falcon. Yeah, I still get to train up though. Not enough. Discard a card. No. Bring you down. Go to attackers. Attack with these two. We train up again. We get rid of the Falcon. And he's only got one blocker left. He takes the 8 points. If you can kill the Savior, you can get 2 creatures back. But that's what we use Vanquish the Horde for then. He's trying to do the math. Are you going to exploit a creature to draw and see if the draw gives you anything? That'll cost you 2 life points. Nope. Yeah, flying zombies. That's 9 points of damage. Not enough. Say hello to my Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. I get to train up too. Good game. And that's all she wrote. Alright. We'll go in and take one more look at the deck itself. And that was probably as good as an outing as we can expect to have with this deck. The game needs to last a little bit longer because we didn't have a lot of Power Stone things in here. So it needs to last a little longer if we're really going to take advantage of Portal to Phyrexia. So it's probably not the ideal configuration for that card. You could throw that card out if you wanted to. I think the board wipes really help with protecting in case you've exiled a lot with Savior of Wallenbach and then they kill him and they get 2 or 3 creatures back, that you need to have these board wipes ready. Or if you manage to use them on your own prototype creatures, that you're ready to destroy them at an appropriate time. It's all about timing with this particular deck. It does have some limitations, like artifacts. It's weak against other artifacts potentially. It's only got this one against target enchantments, so against massive enchantment decks, it's pretty weak. And although we can have a chance against aggro decks, especially since we put in the board wipes, it can be weak against aggro decks too. Excuse me. And then, of course, you always have the issue where they're just going to not give you any lands. We can still run into that. That's nothing new for us. If you've been playing on Arena, you just got to get used to it. It's going to happen to you. But anyway, we're going to leave it there. That is yet another way, 7 different ways that we have potentially able to take these prototype cards and get them out for their full value. The Touch the Spirit Realm really earned its key, its weight in gold with the channel, right, to give us our Going Warplow at full value. And the Saviors, as long as we were able to attack with one other creature with greater power, that really worked for us as well. So the cards showed up. Maybe we could get rid of the Platoon Dispensers if you wanted to get closer to 60 cards. And we are a little heavy on the mono side, so I wouldn't want to get rid of any of the 1, 2, or 3 drops in this case. So if you had to get rid of something, maybe Platoon Dispenser, Portal to Phyrexia, that kind of thing. And you get rid of... go down to like 65 cards. If you got rid of the 2 extra cards, you'd be down to 63. That's not too bad. Anyway, thanks for joining me. This has been Travis, and have a good one.